Good day, everyone. I am Hana Alburo, your teacher for the subject English 10. Today, we will be discussing a new lesson, which is all about the adverbs of affirmation and negation. For the learning outcomes or the objectives, everybody please read.
At the end of the lesson, the student should be able to use words and expressions that affirm or negate when speaking, perceive world issues and complex real-world problems, and deliver an effective extemporaneous speech.
Okay, since now that you have read our objectives or learning outcomes for this lesson, I suppose that you now have an idea of what the students will be doing for this lesson. However, before we start with our first activity, let me first give you an introduction for our topic today. Adverbs of affirmation are used to denote certainty or emphasize action. On the other hand, adverbs of negation are used to deny something. Actually, adverbs of negation can also be used to disagree with an argument or to communicate disbelief or a negative answer. Hence, in this lesson, we will discuss these adverbs for they are essential in communicating our thoughts and expressions for an effective communication. Now, are you ready for our first activity?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't sense any energy from your voices. Did you eat your breakfast?
No, ma'am.
Why?
I was
Did you eat your
hurrying.
breakfast.
You're
Okay,
being-
again, I want to hear energy from your voices. Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
That's the spirit. Okay, our first activity is entitled as Hear Me Out. I will be reading some letters from an unknown sender. Each letter represents one social issue, and you, the students, will be called randomly to identify the social issue as portrayed in each letter. Are you all ready to hear from our first sender?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Our first sender says, Hi everyone. I live in the slums of Tondo, Manila. I am happy with my life here because I have my family. Though sometimes I get insecure from other children because they have nice clothes. They do not starve and they have the privilege to go to school. Now, what social issue is presented in letter 1? Let me hear from Miss Albao.
I think the social issue portrayed in the letter is poverty
Why do you say so?
because the sender lives in the slums of Tondo, Manila.
How about you, Harold? Do you agree with the answer of your classmate?
Yes, I agree with the answer of my classmate because as she had mentioned, the letter of the sender said that he or she lived in the slums, particularly in Manila.
Okay, that's good. Now, let us view if it is really poverty. Okay, poverty is the social issue presented in letter 1. A round of applause for those ones who get the answer correct. Poverty is a social issue here in the Philippines. Filipinos are having a hard time surviving in such difficult conditions, and more of them are succumbing into extreme poverty. The major causes of poverty include low economic growth. What else? Let me hear from Albao. What are some causes of poverty?
I think the lack of education.
Yes, very good. Another one is also the increase of population rate, weak agricultural sector. Another one, let me hear from Harold. Cause of poverty.
I think we could say that corruption can be one issue that leads to poverty.
Yes, very good, Harold. Since now that you have heard from our first sender and you've identify the social issue as presented, let us now move on to our second sender. Are you all now ready to hear from our second sender?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. It has been a week since a strange woman with a child walked in on our home. She was covered in blood and was asking for help. My mother and father let her in and dressed her wounds. Now, my family and I, together with a strange woman and her child, are cooped up under our dining table. I saw my mother praying and my older sister crying, while her hands covered my ears. From the outside, I hear the endless firing of guns and the sudden explosion of bombs. What social issue is presented in letter 2 as you've heard? Yes, let me hear from Erica. What is the social issue?
From the letter, I can say that it is terrorism because of the guns.
Okay, another one, Harold. Do you agree with the answer of Erica?
Yes, I agree with the answer of Erica
Okay, why do you say so?
because except for the guns, the sender also heard of a sudden explosion of bombs.
Okay, let us see if it is terrorism. Okay, a round of applause for everyone who got the right answer. Terrorism is the social issue as presented in the second letter. Terrorism is a social issue in the Philippines. Now, do you remember what happened in Marawi on the year 2017?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
Okay. Civilians on the island of Mindanao paid a high price with dozens killed and widespread destruction of homes and property. That is actually amid the Battle of Marawi. So its trails left with countless deaths and destruction. Actually, terrorism is a social issue that needs immediate action. Are you with me?
Yes,
Does it
ma'am.
need? Okay. Now, since now that you have heard from our second sender, let us now move on to what is that commotion at the back? Miss Gonzalez.
Sorry, ma'am.
You are talking with your seatmate. I told you, if you can remember from the first day of our meeting, that you are not allowed to talk to when I did not told you talk to. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry,
That is
ma'am.
one of our rules. Okay. No, don't be sad. It's just I am only telling you. Okay. Now proceeding. Are you now ready to hear from our third sender?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. For our vacation, me and my family decided to go to the beach. This beach has been our always to go to whenever we wanted to unwind. When we arrived, I noticed that its sea level has been rising little by little. I also noticed that the temperature of the water is not that cold anymore. It only gets warmer and warmer each time we swim here. Now, what social issue is presented in letter 3? Yes, Mr. Lozano.
I think the social issue presented in the third letter is about global warming.
Global warming. Is it global warming? Yes, it is global warming. The Philippines is actually highly vulnerable to the impact of global warming. Now, can you give me some examples that cause global warming? Yes, Miss Nicole, I want to hear from you.
There are different types of pollution, and the major contributor is air pollution.
Yes. How about you, Miss Abby? Give me some examples that cause global warming.
High emission of carbon dioxide, ma'am.
Such a great answer. How about you, Mr. J? Give me some examples that causes
I
global
think we could say that industrialization can also cause global warming.
Precisely, that is such a great answer. Okay, since now that we are done with our first activity, all of you have identified the social issues as presented in each letter. Let us now move on to the analysis part of our lesson. The analysis part of our lesson is entitled as Do you affirm or negate? For this activity, I, the teacher, will be reading some statements. You, the students, are then tasked to listen attentively to me, for I will be asking you later to speak your thoughts, your expressions about whether you agree or whether you affirm or negate to the statements that I will be saying using appropriate words. What are those appropriate words? Take, for example, if you affirm to the statement, you can start your answer by saying the words certainly, yes, I agree, indeed, and if you negate to the sentence, you can start your answer by stating the words no, I disagree, contradictory, and also never. Okay? Are you all ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let us have our first statement. The first statement is mandatory vaccination for everyone. Do you affirm or negate? Yes, Miss Stephanie.
Um, while most of other people will say that your body is your choice, indeed it is correct because you have the freedom to control what your body receives and accumulate at the same time. But with that comes the responsibility that you have to respect other people's bodies as well. So if you do not take the vaccination, you will be spreading, there is a huge chance that you will be spreading the virus to them. So I will affirm that statement that indeed mandatory vaccination is for everyone.
Correct. That is such a very strong answer, Miss Erica. How about you, Mr. Lozano? Do you affirm or negate to the sentence?
I think I would rather disagree or negate to that sentence.
Why?
I disagree because there are actually several problems with mandating vaccinations. Okay, first of all, it directly contravenes patient autonomy. Secondly, it can also lead to further deprivation and isolation of groups of people in our community. And third, these groups become hotbeds for the diseases we vaccinate against and can become a health hazard for the broader community. And universal mandates should not, at this point, be on the table. And putting them there now will do more harm than actually good, in my opinion.
Okay, that is such a strong argumentative you have. Okay, reminders for everyone, there are no wrong answers for this activity. I just want to hear your thoughts and expressions to whether you affirm or negate to the statement. Now let us move on to the next. Animal testing should be banned. Animal testing should be banned. Let me hear from Miss Albao. Miss Albao, do you affirm or negate to the statement? Don't worry because I only want to hear your thoughts.
For me, personally, animal testing should. I am.
It's okay. You
I'm
can.
sorry. I'm sorry, ma'am. Okay, I have now organized my thoughts. I negate that statement because animal testing has been around for centuries, and while it does seem awful to those animals whose rights has been violated, it contributed a lot to the progress and development of medicines that we have today. So if we are not to test the things we have now, on the animals, then should we try experiments on people, which would lead to a bigger debate and bigger moral issue.
Wow, that is such a very informative answer, Erica. It's such a very nice answer you got there. How about you, Mr. Lozano? Do you affirm or negate the sentence?
Well, as for me, animal testing should indeed be banned. So, meaning I agree or I affirm. Because certainly animal testing should be eliminated because actually it violates animal rights. It causes pain and suffering to the experimental animals and other means of testing product toxicity are available. Humans can justify making life better for themselves by randomly torturing and executing thousands of animals per year just to perform laboratory experiments or to test products.
Very good. A round of applause for Harold for sharing us his answer. Okay, now let us move on to the next statement, which is human cloning should be legalized. Human cloning should be legalized. Do you affirm or negate to the statement? Okay, I will be giving you some time to sort out your thoughts. Okay. Okay. Okay, you can talk with your seatmates for a while. You can share your opinions with your classmates beside you or in front of you. It's okay. You can share your thoughts.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Dagnopan, have you shared your thoughts with Miss Iting?
Yes po.
Okay.
Able to share and
Okay. Oh, I also see Miss Albao and Lozano talking to each other. Okay.
Yes, ma'am, we have been
Okay,
debating.
have you already sort out your thoughts? Yes, I want to hear from Miss Wating. Do you affirm or negate to the sentence?
I disagree or negate, ma'am, because we should never legalize human cloning because it could lead to serious violations of human rights as well as human dignity.
Oh, that is such a very straight answer you got there, Miss Wating. How about Miss Erica? I want to hear from you. Do you affirm or negate the statement?
Like Abby, I disagree or negate. I have to disagree and negate because we are talking already about human lives here, and as long as human cloning has not been finalized yet, there is a huge risk in killing the test subject they are performing on. So as long as we are betting the lives of actual humans in this experiment, it should never be legalized.
That is a good point you've got there, Miss Erica. Now, let us move on to our next statement. Climate change is the greatest threat facing humanity today. Again, climate change is the greatest threat facing humanity today. I want to hear from you, Mr. Lozano.
For me, ma'am, I would
Okay,
agree.
please make your voice louder so that
I would agree or affirm that climate change is the greatest threat facing humanity today. Because climate change is already impacting the lives and health of millions of people in various ways. And that, well, no one is safe from these certain risks.
yes,
People in low-income communities are the most vulnerable. So
definitely.
the threats include harm or death from increasingly frequent extreme weather events such as heat waves, storms and floods, as well as the disruption of food systems. And also, ma'am, the spread of diseases from animal populations,
Yes.
food and waterborne illnesses. And lastly, we could also have related mental health issues and more because of the changing of climate.
Yes, a round of applause for Harold for sharing us his answer. Okay, now let us move on to the next statement. Okay, the next statement states that social media has improved human communication. Social media has improved human communication. Okay, I want to hear from Miss Dagnopan. Do you affirm or negate to the sentence? To the statement rather.
I agree po because obviously social media has improved human communication.
Yes?
It allowed us to keep in touch with people despite the distance. And with social media, everything is just a click away, and that includes everything from news to buying your groceries.
Yes. How about you, Miss Itin? Are you on the same boat with Miss Dagnopan, or do you negate the sentence, the statement?
I disagree with the statement because contradictory to what Miss Hanifa have said, I think social media has made the language lazy and thus resulting to people becoming uninterested in meeting others in person, which eliminates any chance of deep and meaningful conversation. People have started losing their ability to communicate efficiently, which is a testament to what kind of total control social media has over their lives.
Yes! A round of applause for Dagnopan and Itin for sharing us their answers. Okay. Since now that we are done to the analysis part of our lesson, let us now move on to the abstraction, wherein you students will get to know more about our lesson for today. Okay. What is the adverb of affirmation or negation? Everybody, please read.
According to Misha, adverb of affirmation or negation is a word which declares that something is true or some equivalent expression or negative statement, judgment, or a logical proposition. Some examples of affirmation and negation are certainly, definitely, never, no, etc. The first two words are the adverbs of affirmation, while the latter are the adverbs of negation.
Okay. Now, let us try to know the difference between the two. Okay. Let us consider the sentence, I will definitely do that. Oh. Now, the word definitely affirms the listener that the speaker is going to do the particular task which is talked about. Okay. Hence, the word definitely is, what is the word definitely?
Adverb of affirmation.
Very good. It is an adverb of affirmation. Now let us consider another sentence. I will never do that. Oh. The word never here negates the sentence by telling that the speaker is not going to do the particular task which is talked about. Hence, the word never is
Adverb of negation.
precisely. Okay, since now that you have known the difference between the two, I want you to be familiar with the words that show that show affirmation and negation. So here are some lists of words. Okay, everybody, please read the words under the affirmative.
Absolutely, affirmatively, assertedly, avowedly, clearly, truly, definitely, doubtlessly, exactly, all right, indeed, obviously, positively, really, sure, surely, undoubtedly, yes, certainly, by all means, totally.
Okay, how about the words under the negation?
Nothing, nowhere, not at all, contradictory, almost invalidly, never, no, not, rarely, scarcely, words ending in such as
That
happen.
is, actually those are words ending in "ent." So those are words such as haven't. What are
Doesn't.
Doesn't.
Didn't,
Didn't.
Shouldn't.
Shouldn't. Can. Okay, those are actually the words. And also, I am sure that you heard some of these words from your classmates earlier, di ba?
Yes.
You heard these words? Okay. Now, let us try. This is an example of adverbs of affirmation and negation in sentences. Now let us try to look at it one by one. So the first sentence, she is certainly going through a hard time. Adverb, affirmation or negation?
Affirmation.
Okay, affirmation. There was no visibility during the rains.
Negation.
Teachers should never agree to the illogical demands of the student.
Negation.
Eager to know his son's progress, he will definitely attend the parents-teacher meeting.
Definitely.
Affirmation.
Oh,
I'm sorry,
Erica
ma'am.
is,
I'm sorry.
I think she is quite, what do you call this word?
Surprise.
Okay, it's okay to commit mistakes. Okay, this sentence shows,
Affirmation.
yes, very good, Wati. Next.
She was just confused.
Okay, she doesn't only good. It's okay. We all make confusions. Next, the moon is clearly visible from the terrace of my house.
Affirmation.
Things turned out to be exactly the same as expected.
Affirmation.
On all my visits to the forests, I rarely spotted a tiger.
Negation.
Negation? Are you sure?
Yes.
Negation.
Maybe.
Yes, negation.
Yes, I am sure.
I had hardly gone for a few miles when the car broke down.
Negation.
Yes, negation. I got you. Next, the generator I have is scarcely ever used.
Negation.
Yes, negation. With the kind of dedication he has, he will surely be rewarded at work.
Affirmation.
Affirmation. After the principal's resignation, the students can hardly be controlled.
Negation.
Negation. Negation or affirmation?
Negation.
Yes, it is negation. A round of applause to everyone.
Definitely.
Okay. Since now that you are packed with the knowledge about our topic for today, are you all now ready to apply those learning?
Definitely.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, Abuboting is already using an adverb of affirmation. That is good.
Certainly.
Okay. For our application part, you will be doing an activity which is entitled as Speak Up. Again, what is the title of the activity?
Speak up.
Okay. For this activity, you students will deliver an effective extemporaneous speech. Your speech must be an original work prepared during the extemporaneous preparation time. You, the speakers, will also have 3 minutes to prepare a 2 to 3 minute speech. Speakers are also encouraged to use the adverbs of affirmation and adverbs of negation. Your names will be picked randomly. It will not be alphabetical, okay? Because it is actually unfair for those who are on the
Next level.
With the A
to the
surname.
A level of the alphabet.
Very true, ma'am.
Okay.
Certainly.
Okay, so your names will be picked randomly and there will be drawlots to identify what questions are you going to answer. Furthermore, the questions of the extemporaneous speech will revolve around the following social issues: pandemic and healthcare availability, global warming, terrorism, poverty, civil rights and racial discrimination, lack of education, drug or substance abuse, and corruption. So your extemporaneous speech will be judged based on the following criteria. So under the content, we have the topic or the purpose. Next, the preparation and organization. Next is the use of language, which include appropriateness of the adverbs of affirmation and negation use, and factfulness. Next is under the delivery. We have the verbal or non-verbal and speak sorry because I have a hard copy of the criteria. Who is our class president? I forgot. Yes, Miss Albao. I will be giving you the criteria so that you and your classmates can photocopy it later for you to be guided on your performance for the extemporaneous speech. Also, I will be giving you an ample amount of time for this activity. Therefore, this will be presented tomorrow on our schedule. That is why I will be expecting each and every one of you to be prepared. Okay? Since I would also like to give you some advice. Okay? Since I already give you the I gave you the social issues to which the questions will revolve around. You can, when you get to your respective homes, you can try to look up on the internet some basic informations about these social issues so that you can use those information for your extemporaneous speech. And also, I would also like to tell you that you can practice at home. Try to look at yourself in front of the mirror while speaking. Take a look at your facial expressions. Are they appropriate? Or your hand gestures? Are they exaggerated? And of course, try to listen to your voice. Is it loud enough to be heard by everyone? Yes, that's all. And also, since this is a speaking activity, I would want you to use your listening skills. You need to listen attentively to me, for I will be the one to give you the questions for your speech. Okay? Because if you do not listen to me, you may get lost along your speech. Okay? Resulting to you not hitting the topic or not hitting the purpose. So that is why you need to listen to my question. And also, since you are to deliver an effective extemporaneous speech, you are going to make use of your speaking skills. Okay? You need to pronounce the correct sounds of English words correctly and make sure that your voice is clear enough to be heard even by your classmates at the back. Okay?
Yes,
Is everything
ma'am.
clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I don't sense any energy from your voices. Is everything clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's the spirit. Okay, since now that our class has ended, okay, you can now, what group is the cleaner today? I forgot.
Thursday.
Thursday, I think it is group 4. Okay, group 4, you're gonna have to clean the room. Okay, so much for that. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye and thank you, Miss Hannah.